Hey everyone, thanks for hanging along. I'm Neil Shrewastawell. You know me as probably the voice of the Guelph Royals. You've probably heard me on a few other broadcasts this summer as well. And again, I want to thank you for tuning in this evening, afternoon, daytime, whatever you guys are watching this over on YouTube. We appreciate it. And I want to thank all the broadcasters throughout the league for their help in putting together this IBL preview show for you all. Some teams recorded their videos earlier in this week. Of course, some of this stuff might be a little dated as we didn't know who we were playing. Of course, the playoffs came down to the wire. The pennant was clinched by the London Majors on Thursday night with a 4-3 victory over the Guelph Royals. Three teams finishing in the top of the IBL standings at an identical 31-11 records. So congratulations to the London Majors, the Welland Jackfish, and of course the Guelph Royals on great regular season performances. Of course, we called in some favors today to get some friends of ours in the broadcast community to do some videos for us. Some teams, unfortunately, due to technical difficulties, time constraints, and everything else, were not able to do videos themselves. So I've done my best to pinch hit, and hopefully that's okay with everybody. And try to keep it fair, kind of keep it impartial, and hope you guys just enjoy these videos. And again, if you really like this stuff, thank you so much for supporting the Intercounty this summer, and hope you guys have a great one. Take care.
Kicks and throws. Jansen on the ground. It gets by the first baseman, Nick Burdett. Rounding third is Plumpton, and the Baycats win it. Pitch from Sloan. It's that one to right field. That one's going back at the wall. Carrington looks up and it's gone. Ryan Rio goes deep in the first inning and the Baycats are up early 2-0. One of the best things about the 2022 season for the Barrie Baycats has been the breakout of some players who originally joined the team last season but have really made a big impact this year. One of the examples that many would turn to is the man who led off this video with a walk-off hit, Owen Jansen. Jansen joined the team last season, but really had a breakout season in his second year with the Baycats. Across 34 regular season games, Jansen's hitting .357 with 3 home runs and a .404 on-base average. That last stat is one of the reasons he's been seeing more of the top of the batting order lately. It's a full batting order that will need to be on their game in the first round of the playoffs, as the Toronto Maple Leafs will be a competitive opponent. The Maple Leafs will likely be facing a lineup that looks something like this, with the power bat of Ryan Rio in one of the other impact spots in the order. Rio hit 6 home runs in the regular season. The batting order will also likely consist of Baycats veteran Brantford Red Sox, who has been with the team since 2014 and has been a big part of the Baycats championship run, as well as Tyler Plumpton. He's been a brilliant defensive catcher this year, and he's really broken out with the bat as well, hitting .351 across this season. Carson Burns, the excellent defender, has some big pop in his bat as well to keep an eye on, and Jake Wilson had a 7-game hitting streak earlier in the second half of the season. Looking ahead to the pitching, the ace of the team heading into the postseason is none other than 2018 IBL Pitcher of the Year, Frank Garces. In 5 playoff starts in 2018, Garces pitched to a .65 ERA with 46 strikeouts and only 6 walks. The Baycats, of course, won the Jack and Lynn Dominico Cup that season. Some of the biggest performances across the Baycats championship seasons have come from Garces, and the Baycats are surely looking forward to seeing what he'll bring to his starts in 2022. Of the pitchers projected to be on the playoff roster in 2022, Garces, Juan Benitez, Adam Kahn, Riley Hoover, Evan Souls, and Brad Grieveson have all made starts for the Baycats across the regular season. Some of the big bullpen names for the Baycats heading into this series include Chris Cox, Brandon Hillier, and Aiden Russell. The Baycats will have a pitching staff ready to go, both for the tough visiting atmosphere at Christie Pitts and the familiar friendly home one at Vintage Throne Stadium. They have a 14-6 record at home this season, and they'll be looking for their best games against the Maple Leafs this season. They're 2-4 against Toronto so far in 2022. Baycats, Maple Leafs, looking forward to round 1 of the IBL playoffs. All Baycats home games will be available on Baycats TV.
In a season where wins were hard to come by for the Brantford Red Sox, to their credit, they showed up and played every night against the best teams in the Intercounty. John DeZamba led the Red Sox with a .347 batting average. Nick Burdett led the squad in both home runs and RBIs. And Burdett also collected a few milestones along the way, including his 303 hit and 1,000th to bat in the IBL this season. Bennett Moore led the Red Sox with 45 strikeouts, Well, the 22 season might not have been the season they hoped for. The Red Sox future is definitely looking brighter as the team won the Junior OBA Championship a few weeks ago. After sitting out the 2021 season due to COVID protocols, the Guelph Royals made the biggest splash this offseason by signing former Toronto Blue Jay Dalton Pompey and signing Claudio Custodio, who returned to the IBL after released by the Baltimore Orioles last winter. The Royals started their season at 9-7, but found their footing and banged out both an 8-game and 9-game winning streaks to end the regular season at 31-11, setting up a three-way tie for the Intercounty for the first place. They won an incredible 19-2 at Hastings Stadium, losing once to London in extra innings and once to the Welland Jackfish, and are currently riding a 15-game win streak at home. Night after night, it's been a different guy taking their turn to swing the hammer and pound some rocks. Of course, you have to mention the performance of Claudio Custodio's record-breaking season, 11-0 record on the year, 206 strikeouts to smash the 57-year-old record held by Ron Stead, which was set in 1967. Ethan Hammond came out of nowhere and became the Royals' everyday left fielder. Malik Collymore was a force to be reckoned with both at the plate and on the base paths. And, of course, the curtain call for Sean Riley, 1,035 hits, 827 RBIs, and 207 home runs as he completes his IBL tour of duty. And, of course, as we head to the postseason, the Royals are looking forward to ride that momentum to what we hope will be a long and rewarding postseason.
The Hamilton Cardinals finished the regular season in 7th place with a record of 12-30. Hamilton started off pretty slow, but have picked it up late in the regular season, winning 6 of their last 10 games, including victories over Guelph, Toronto, Kitchener, and Brantford. The Cardinals have also made a few key additions at the deadline to improve their roster and complement their top performers. Since the departure of former IBL All-Star Justin Gideon, Tyler Duncan has moved to center field and been a very bright spot for the Cards. Duncan was able to finish inside the top 6 in hits in the IBL this season with 54. He also led Hamilton in RBIs, tied the league lead in triples with 4, and has been a great defensive presence in the outfield. Shortstop Luis Jean missed a bit of time, but has played well in his 29 appearances, batting .336, scoring 23 runs, and adding 12 stolen bases. First baseman Josh Niles is having a strong sophomore season for Hamilton. He has been excellent on defense and is tied for the team lead in homers with 5 on the year. Third baseman Lane Renault has been very hot in the month of August with a .452 average and 11 RBIs. His 5 homers also have him tied for the team lead. A few new additions will also be key to Hamilton's playoff hopes. Left fielder Dennis DeBanning has hit .409 in his first 6 games with the Cardinals, including 4 home runs, 8 RBIs, and 4 stolen bases. Utility man Ryan Burnside has played outfield, back catcher, and even pitched a few innings, all while batting .318 in his first 12 games. Junior call-up McLean Van Ray may also see some action in the playoffs after going 4 for 9 with a double, triple, and 4 RBIs in his first 2 games. As for starting pitching, the Cardinals will mainly be relying on Sam Turcotte, Adrian Salcedo, and Dowry Torres to give them extended outings and hand it off to their dominant closers. Left-handed pitcher and former Toronto Blue Jay, Jose Fernandez, has been superb in his 15 innings of work as a late-game reliever, striking out 30 batters and surrendering just 1 run and 2 walks with an ERA of .60. Veteran righty Stefan Strecker has also been a solid relief man in 15 innings with a 1.80 ERA. Right-handed pitcher Corbin Peters has been a nice addition as well with a 1.54 ERA in 11 2/3 innings. All in all, Hamilton will be in tough against a very strong opponent regardless of who they end up facing, but I believe it will come down to clutch hits with runners in scoring position and strong pitching as it so often does in postseason baseball.
Hi there, Mark Perry, the voice of the Kitchener Panthers on YouTube. It's been an interesting 2022, to say the very least. A 15-27 record. The Kitchener Panthers still at this taping, still don't know who they're going to be playing in the first round of the postseason. But again, let's take you through the 2022 year for the 13-time IBL champions. And for them, the positives for them have been about the offense. a .297 average as a team. They were third in the IBL in home runs with 44. And what more can be said about the outfield for this team? Left and right, Jacklin and Jarvis, Blake Jacklin, Jet Jarvis, building upon a successful 2021. Both of them just 20 years old. Just a lot of room to grow for both of these two. Very quick out in the outfield. And then they have Andy Leader to really build upon, as a unit out there. And Andy himself, he's been around the block a few times, but just 25 years old. So there's still, room to grow for him as well. And what a year he has had. On top of the fact that he was able to get into a few games as a pitcher, being able to be primarily that center fielder, one of the better center fielders in the IBL, pretty much in the top 5, top 10 all year when it came to average among qualifying batters. A season high with a .362 average for him, 6 home runs, also a career high, 51 hits, also a career high, 35 RBI. Yes, I'm repeating myself, also a career high. So, lots of promise out there in the outfield between those three. And let's talk about futures. Of course, Eric Martin, another stud that we can talk about for many, many years to come in this league. He only played in 8 games for the Panthers this season, and he hit 5 home runs. It seems like he was hitting a home run every single time he was in a game. Having that power option, not bad to say the least. And, you take a look at the rest of this team too. Liam Wilson, when he was in the lineup, he was producing. Keegan Marsden, Stephen Whalen. There's been so much that can be said about the offensive options that this team is capable of. And I think that's going to be something to look forward to in years to come in 2023 and forward. And in the playoffs, you never know what can happen in the postseason. You could have, a shutdown option as for a pitcher, and can have a performance of his life, and you produce the offense. Things can go right in the IBL. We have seen upsets happen in the past. Look out, Kitchener Panthers can do some damage on offense. But again, I touch on the pitching. That has been their Achilles heel this year. A 9.43 ERA as a team. And, one of the big sticking points for me all season long has just been just the way they've been giving up a lot of these runs. 93 home runs given up by this team this year. You have to look to Brantford as second most at 50. So that's something that they really do have to clean up if they have any hope in the IBL postseason. You have Christian Hawk anchoring your staff. Brett Reed is in there. Jacob Douglas is also an option in there too as your starters. You'll look to see this pitching staff improve next year. Possibly maybe some imports coming into the lineup in 2023 to really try to holster that pitching rotation as well as the bullpen. But you can't fault them too much. They did what they had to do with the options that were provided. There is so much offense in this league. Many have emerged as stars. You look at some of the guys around the IBL that have been putting up career numbers. I've never seen this much scoring in single game scenarios, really, since I started covering the league just a few years ago. That's really what we've seen in 2022. That was the story. It was the story of offense. Many lopsided games, many teams really putting up, it almost seemed like on the regular, 20 runs a game. Will we see that in 2023? Who knows? But we are looking a little bit too far ahead. Let's look to 2022 and the postseason coming up. A 6th-seeded Kitchener Panthers team. Again, yet to know who their opponents are going to be in the first round of best-of-5 series. But anything is possible. That's why you play the games. We shall see what happens in the 2022 IBL postseason. The Kitchener Panthers are looking to strike.
Welcome inside the Game Day London broadcast booth here at Labatt Park as we wrap things up for the 2022 Intercounty Baseball League regular season for the London Majors. And Noah, this year, another successful one for the Majors in the regular season.
Yeah, a really successful season for the London Majors. We were unsure, Dylan, after the Majors won the Intercounty Baseball League in 2021, what they were going to counter with here in 2022. Was it going to be another successful season? Were they going to take a little bit of a step back? We were unsure coming into this year, but I think everybody, us up in the broadcast booth, the fans, the team themselves, they were happy with how they performed this year.
They absolutely were, and really the long ball was the story of the season for the Majors. Robert Mullen, Starling Joseph, Cleveland Brownlee with a renaissance late in his career. Taylor Wright, who was with the team at the beginning of the year, rejoined the team later on, has been hitting the long ball as well, and there have been some unsung heroes along the way.
Yeah, there certainly has. Guys that came into this season where you were unsure what they were going to do. A guy like Jacob Newton, who's just hit the cover off the ball here in this 2022 season. Starling Josephs have come into this year, and he's been a fantastic addition to the London Majors lineup. You touched on Cleveland Brownlee there, who coming into this season, another one of those guys we were unsure if he was going to be even back with the London Majors. Was he going to go out on top? No, he figured he'd come back and he would just crush all his records before he finally maybe decides to hang up the cleats.
Yeah, we'll see if this is all for Cleveland. I'm not 100% convinced, Noah.
I'm not either. He could very well be back. He is showing that he still very well can hit in this league.
And with the Majors winning the Intercounty Baseball League pennant this season in that exhilarating tie-breaking game against the Guelph Royals, they will take on the Brantford Red Sox in round one, a team that they've had a lot of success against this year.
Yeah, Dylan, the Brantford Red Sox haven't had a fantastic year in the Intercounty Baseball League. Lots of stuff that they can work on moving forward, and the Majors hoping that they can take care of them fairly quickly here in round one, which gets underway tonight, Friday, from Labatt Memorial Park. And the Majors looking at this series, you're probably going to see some arms that haven't started a lot this year, at least to start the series, and hopefully the Majors can get through with those arms.
Yeah, the Majors are going to be looking to get through this series without having to take too many bullets from their top guys, Jose Arias and Owen Boone, because they want to save them for the later rounds of the playoffs. But playoffs are a crazy animal, and anything can happen, so the Majors are going to need to take care of business against the Brantford Red Sox. We're excited to see what the Majors can do in the playoffs. Thank you very much for listening in on this Majors playoff preview.
This summer, the IBL played a 42-game season for the first time since 2013. Even with 6 additional games on the schedule, it seemed to go by in a flash. The Maple Leafs finished 4th in the standings and are about to launch their postseason run for the Dominico Cup. Offensively, there was a close race from the team batting title this year, with Jordan Castado edging out Dan Mara. Justin Mara retained his home run crown, and Jonathan Salazzo was tops in the team on RBIs and finished 4th overall in the league with 47 RBIs. Jose Vinicio was virtually unstoppable on the base paths. And meanwhile, Zach Sloan was once again the Leafs' top starters in wins and strikeouts. Franklin Hernandez, Dylan Jacober, and Chris Nagorski were the club's top relievers. Leafs hopeful that the only stinker left on the field is this guy as they head into the postseason.